When I first saw this property, I knew this was it. It would be the perfect home for our next venture as a business. It would be our new office. My favorite time of the day is the sunrise, and I also love the sunset. I love the golden colors that you find in the sunset and the different textures. I find that at sunrise and sunset, nature is performing. The colors are so much more vibrant. My office is my favorite spot in the entire space. As soon as I walk in the morning into my office, I love the natural light. I like the abundance of light that comes in. It just opens up such amounts of creativity that I can explore, and it celebrates light and just clears my mind. The trees outside also just make me feel so relaxed, and so it doesn't feel like I'm in an office. I feel like I'm home. I feel most alive when I'm in nature. I get inspired by nature. It could be a forest, the trees, the ocean. I just love immersing myself in nature. And so when I found this place, it was just the perfect thing because it just was immersed and nestled within these trees, and it felt so natural. One aspect that is one of my favorite things about the office is that it's abundant with light. Light illuminates, light brings clarity, and light inspires creativity. When you come into the lounge and you sit on the sofa, you hear the water on the outside from the water feature, and you see the fish. And for me, that's relaxing. I think water has a calming energy to it. So it was important to incorporate both the trees as well as the water element. And in winter, one of the biggest advantages of being in this property is the fireplaces and the ability to put on fires. And that really makes it feel so warm and just so inviting. You just want to linger longer. I love the fact that we've used the wooden floors with this honey color. It just makes it feel as if, it doesn't feel like an office at all. It feels like a place, like someone's home. And when clients come in, they really appreciate that. And it's also something that I would say is reminiscent of the projects that we do. We want to create homes or spaces that are layered, that are comfortable, that are warm. And this is the first foray into that. A key feature of the doors is, and one of the highlights for me, is the ribbed glass that we've used. It just creates a nice silhouette to the spaces and gives us beautiful shapes, but also gives you a little bit of mystique. So you wonder what's going on behind, and as you enter, the boardroom unfolds. I've used the geometric pattern on the sofa. I think it lends itself to spontaneity and a nice element of surprise. Of course, the colors, when I look at it, are warm, and it gives us a nice, beautiful texture against the quite plain wooden floors as well as the walls. Around the fireplaces, we kept the original brickwork that was original to the house, as well as if you look on the outside, the old chimneys. So we retained the fireplaces, however, we put a new mantle around it. So you see the juxtaposition between the old and the new living together to create this beautiful new language of modern classics. As you flow through to different spaces, at certain points we've added some skylights. I think the skylights add nice, beautiful light coming in, but they also elongate the size of the ceilings, so your eye just goes up. The boardroom is quite a serious space. We have used a table that we inherited from a client from one of our earliest projects. And so it's traveled with us from different spaces, and for it to have its final landing space in a place that is quite appropriate for it. It's from the 20s and the house is built in the 30s. And so that's pretty cool, that we're able to come with some heirlooms that we brought with us. And they remain a part of our history and a part of our story. As you walk into the boardroom, what greets you is an artwork of Desmond Tutu. And for us, it's what's particularly beautiful about this piece is that it's created by 9 artists. We think that the way that we design homes, that collaborative effort between the architect, the interior designer, the clients, and all the other people working on the space that we create in this very boardroom is quite unique to our story. We think that there's parallels between the collaboration of these artists and what we do on a daily basis really comes and converges quite beautifully. I've used this wallpaper that goes from a dark chocolate brown, it comes up and it fades into a gradient, into an off-white color. I like that. I like the fact that, you look at the texture of the wallpaper and from it going to dark to light is symbolic of knowledge, which we disperse in this room. I've used bronze mirrors on either end of the art piece. It's not a clear mirror, it's a bronze mirror, so therefore you get this mystique around it. It's quite glamorous, it gives you the light that you need, but it's not blinding. A key feature of this boardroom, when you look up, you see the coffered ceiling. The coffered ceiling is inspired by the post office where my father worked for over 30 years in Pretoria. So it was important for me to highlight the history, but also honor my father, who really has been a key figure in helping me become the person that I am and instilling confidence and letting me know that I could achieve anything that I could achieve. So to have a ceiling that I grew up looking at is quite magical. In the entire office, art is a point of departure sometimes for all the projects that we do. It's a nice way to imbue texture and color and spontaneity in any environment. So we've got some of my most favorite artists. We've got Over the Fireplace in the Lounge, an art piece by Nelson Makamu. And then we also have art pieces as you lead through some of the passages by Trevor Stearman. This particular picture of the house in Dakar is quite beautiful because home is a feeling, and that's what the house is called, or the picture is called, Home is a Feeling. And I think that's what we do. We give houses that feeling that makes it feel like home. We've used the black paint on the skirtings because we thought to create quite a dramatic highlight between the floors and the walls. And that, I think, makes it feel really special because traditionally you'd paint this white. What I find best about this home is clients aren't feeling like they're coming for a consultation at an office. They feel like they're coming home. They walk in here and immediately they are transported to another place, and they do say that they feel at home. When putting together the house and putting things on walls, it was really great to see that we had history. I looked on the walls and I saw my collaboration with Hertex Fabrics, and it was really quite heartwarming to see how far we've actually come. So the house is a reflection of that history, but it's also a vision board for what we see for ourselves in the future. I believe that every space has a story to tell because every human being has a story to tell. And so with this place, we were able to tell our story, to layer it with history. And it's been a privilege to speak about my father and how my mother has influenced me in the past, and to see it being a physical embodiment of a structure. It's beautiful.